John Marston's character arc and how he changes in Epilogue is one of my favorite parts throughout the Red Dead story. Throughout the main Red Dead Redemption story, we see John struggle to getting away from the stressful lifestyle of being an outlaw and events of chapters 1 through 6, and getting away with his son and Abigail. Years later, after chapter 6, now that John has finally got away from that life and what he used to do and the things he used to do, he settles down for some time and becomes a farmer at Pronghorn Ranch. And a little bit before this, it is implied that John had to kill some people where they used to live, so they had to move away, and he's finally ready to lay down the holster and start a new life. With the surrounding gangs nearby, he is forced to use his old methods of dealing with people, forcing him to go back into bad habits of killing and violence. Throughout this moment in the story, Abigail is unhappy that John keeps slipping back into the man he used to be. We also see this when John gets recognized in a strawberry, and he has to end up killing people in front of his son.
You're okay.
What? Why? What?
It's okay. Come on. Keep them eyes closed.
And just a side note, I absolutely love this part of the game. Years later, after being retired from an outlaw, he's still paying the price for his past, and his past kind of haunts him in a way. He can try all he wants to run away, but no matter what, he will pay the price for what he did back in the day. The mission where Pronghorn Ranch gets attacked in the middle of the night shows this perfectly. So this mission, we have the ranch get attacked by the nearby gang, and John's boss has been kind of suspecting that he used to be a bad person in the past, just because whenever he asks John about what he did before, he's always very vague. And I just love what Mr. Getty says at this moment. He says, "I don't care what you used to do or what your name is, but this is the land of second chances." And I absolutely love this line, especially when the mission is over, so I'll get back to this in a minute. So John and the other farmers get their shit and ride to Hanging Dog Ranch, where they go and kill the rest of the gang members. And this is the only time in the Epilogue Part 1 where it's an actual gunfight, Most of the other missions were kind of boring. Most of the other missions in this chapter were more about the farm and the character building for John and Abigail. So John gets back to the cabin, and we see Abigail frustrated with him because she knows what he did. And to be honest, I really understand Abigail's point of view from here, just because Arthur didn't die for him just to get back into more trouble. Arthur gave his life so he and his family could get away. And I think if Arthur was still alive at this point, he would be as disappointed as Abigail. And after this mission, 1 week later, Abigail and Jack leave him. They can't take the killing and the bullshit anymore, and they have to leave. They have to find some security. And this leads perfectly into part 2, because this is the point in the story where he decides to change. He ends up building ranch and what they dreamed of. John has spent a year or so actually building that dream for his family. That security and the safe lifestyle that they always wanted. And this is what Mr. Getty said during that mission. This is the land of second chances. And I think after his mission, he truly began to change. Or at least he did the best what he could do. And he tried the best to do better. And we all know what happens, and John had a second chance, but he kind of ends up blowing it a few years later, which we'll get into the next video. But yeah, that's about it, guys. And if you enjoyed watching this video, I recommend the video on screen now. And thanks for watching. Subscribe if you're new. I'll see you guys next time. Thanks.